Hi, my name is Palabo, and I'm a full-time traveler, and I've actually been traveling since July 2016. So far, I've been to 105 countries and almost every state in the US, and one of the questions that I get all the time is, what is your favorite place? And high up on that list is definitely Toronto in Canada. And when I was there, I spoke to some of the locals about what is the good and the bad about living in Toronto, Canada. And that's what you're going to hear today. This episode was first released on December 29th, 2017. Welcome to Flashback Friday from Toronto.
Meet Palebo.
Pele. Soccer star.
Almost, yeah.
A digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world. At the age of 50, he made a bold decision. He sold everything, his house, his car, his furniture, and set out with a quest to visit every single country in the world, documenting everything along the way. This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
In this episode, we explore what is the best and what is the worst part about living in Toronto. I've asked those two questions to a handful of the locals I've met, and here is what they replied. This is Mike, the Canadian with the Danish parents. It's my Airbnb host, Hannah. And then it's three wonderful people that I just bumped into on the streets of Toronto. It's Sean, it's Alex, and it's Bridget. And here's the first question. What is the best part about living in Toronto?
Well, for sure, the best things about living in Toronto is, the people. We have such a multicultural society, and some people look down on that. I don't know, like outsiders may look down on that. But for me, I've always grown up with that. I grew up in a classroom where there was every different color of skin imaginable, every different economic level imaginable. I grew up sitting next to a guy who put his books in a plastic bag, next to a guy that had five different knapsacks, and next to a girl that wasn't allowed to look and speak to boys and things like that. So I grew up in this culture. So when you factor all of that in, there's a lot of advantages to that. You're consumed by all these different cultures, from the different approaches to life that they bring, the entrepreneurial spirit that a lot of these immigrants bring. Obviously, things like their cuisine and their culture and all of that is very unique to the city of Toronto. As I'm sure you've witnessed by walking down a street, you can walk past a sign that may not even have English in it, and it's a guy trying to start a restaurant in Japanese or something. So for me, that's what I love most about living in Canada, about living in Toronto specifically. Just seeing this city grow the way it has in my lifetime, from when I first, understood what a city was as a young person to what I see it is today. The fact that we are a world-class city on every single level, the fact that we have a great respect for other humanity, for other people in the city. And the opportunities that present themselves here, I think, is great.
The best part of living in Toronto is the excitement. There's so much happening all the frickin' time, and it's just great.
What kind of stuff's happening?
Events every night, events every day. There's always something to do.
Even on a weekday?
Any school. Mondays. I'm telling you, Mondays, right? I'm a musician, so, I love, going to art stuff, tons of art things happening all the time. It's a city, it's Canada's New York.
The best thing about living in Toronto, I think, is we have people from every single culture coming here to live here, whether it's Greek town, Italian town, a Jamaican town. It's very, very diverse in the city of Toronto. I think it's known already about that. I think it's known worldwide for being very diverse. So it's a very, very diverse population here in Toronto. That's what I would say.
The easy things to say are, food is amazing here. Culture is amazing. We have an amazing, vibrant. There's lots of stuff to do. There's lots of events to go to. There's lots of music and art and painting and theater. We have wonderful actors. Our culture is strong, You can see stuff every day. I think one of the greatest things about the city, though, is just people working together. We have tons of agencies that are out there that are helping if people need help. We have a lot of net catching organizations. We're very friendly for people who come here on refugee status. status, and I think we have a lot of organizations to help in those times of need. Also, it's a wonderful city for opportunity. Other people have a strong opinion about it too, but I feel that it's a great city for opportunity for everybody. You know, if you have skill, you can find your place. Yeah, or make your place, which is great. And we're such a huge city for technology sector and banking and all these other things. But I think combined, the way that we live with each other in community is the greatest thing about the city.
What about you? Would you like something? I've been doing Game of Thrones and Drake and Disney songs and Star Wars, whatever you feel like.
Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, why not? Let's see. What are his good songs? What's your favorite Justin Timberlake song? I mean, there's that recent one, Happy. That only sounds like 3 notes.
That was pretty cool.
But they're the backing tracks. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, dude.
Good seeing you.
Oh, yeah. I'll see you soon, dude. See you soon. Oh, bye. And that's our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man right there.
So, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Bridget O'Regan.
Okay. And you're Torontonian?
I am not a Torontonian. I moved over here from Ottawa, the nation's capital, about a year and a half ago.
Oh, why did you come here?
For violin. I was working in the government and I got a bit bored of it. Yeah.
What's the best part about living in Toronto?
Everything is here. What do you want to do? What do you want to eat? Go do it. It's 5 minutes away. I love it. It's just so metropolitan. You can do whatever you want. It's lovely.
And then the obvious counter question, what's the worst part of it?
It is expensive. It is so expensive to live here. But for me, it's worth it because I'm doing what I love. And even though I, can't afford to go out to eat every single weekend or something, I still love living here.
And you're playing on the street to save up to a new violin?
Yeah, I'm playing on the street. I've been doing busking ever since I was 11 years old. So I have a good number of years, at least a decade behind me.
Awesome. Rock on.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
You.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
The smell, I'd say.
Smell?
Yeah.
I haven't noticed
It's not very pleasant, But I guess not every city is.
But there's not any smog or pollution?
Not that I notice, and I'm not, I live away from here. But now, at the time that I've been living here, the smell is something that, you got to get used to when you're in the central part of downtown. It's kind of a mixture of, washrooms and gum, and old gum. But no, other than that, I can get past it. It's great. Lots of people, super friendly sometimes, super not friendly sometimes. And I work on the streets of Toronto every day, so I can tell you straight up, it's a pretty diverse city, to say the least, and probably the most.
I think the homeless problem is becoming worse in Toronto now. Over the last 10 to 15 years, in my humble opinion, there are more people that are on mental illness that are going around. They're sleeping on the streets now. They're not being taken care of. They've closed down. Certain homeless shelters have closed down as well, too. It's becoming an epidemic now, I believe, in the city of Toronto. It needs to be addressed. And I think when Mayor Rob Ford was in place, I think it was happening a lot more. But now it's becoming rampant now in the city of Toronto, and it needs to be addressed.
So, was he a good mayor?
I believe, despite his shortcomings, I believe
he became quite famous.
Yes, there were very, very big shortcomings, but beside his shortcomings, I think he did a good job. I think he really, really cared for the poor and helped a lot of people out a lot. But that didn't really get discussed as much because his background, the things he did that were negative, outshine the things he did that was very positive. But overall in general, I think he tried to do a good job as best as he could. But his personal life got into the way of everything he did.
What's your name?
My name is Sean. What's your name?
Thank you, Pelle.
Pele, like Pele, soccer star.
Almost, yeah.
I think that Canada as a nation, we have to do a lot more to respect and support and reconcile with our Indigenous population. I think where people fall through the cracks are in Indigenous communities in the city, and there are organizations that are in place that really will help, but we could be doing more. I also think that a downside is that perhaps like other enormous cities that are super profit-based, that are financial centers, people are so in the mindset of making tons of cash that they need to reach out more and support what is here. I mean, we have a beautiful cultural city, and yet the artists are moving to the suburbs, right? So we need to keep our artists here. I mean, it's great for the suburbs that that they're getting so many wonderful artists, and we also need to find ways to make it affordable and sustainable for our artist families to be in the city. Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of things I do not like about the city.
Yeah, that was my next question.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like the traffic. I don't like the politics. I don't like the taxes. I don't like the cold weather.
Taxes. Oh, come on.
Yeah. Taxes are.
Come to Denmark.
Yeah, but at least in Denmark, I mean, I have never lived there long term, so I shouldn't say. But, in Toronto, the problem with the taxes is that your money it just seems to go flying endlessly out the door, and you don't see the improvements in the city that you'd like to see. The roads are still horrible. The service is still horrible, and you still, pay more and more. And of course, currently, what I don't like about the city of Toronto is the cost of living here. It's extremely expensive to live in Toronto. The housing prices are ridiculous. So yeah, those are the downsides to being in Toronto, but it's such a great place to live. I mean, I used to spend a lot of time on the waterfront, which I really enjoy. I can go up north an hour, 2 hours away and be skiing. I can drive to the States very, very quickly. There's a lot of great things about the city, yeah.
And then it's goodbye to Toronto, that by now is one of my absolute favorite cities in the world. This is a place I could stay. Well, that is, if there weren't so many other places I'd like to visit.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe in iTunes or the podcast app on your smartphone. Palle can be reached for interviews and public speaking gigs on mail at theradiovagabond.com.
I'm moving on, but I'm staying in Canada. First, I'm heading east to the French-speaking part of the country. Here, I'm visiting 2 cities in Quebec. First stop will be Quebec City, and I'm so looking forward to that. My name is Palle, and I gotta keep moving. See ya.